Welcome to Aftershock Online. Today, I'm very excited to have my friend Michael Leto here, owner of Lil Leto Catering. Just a little quick background, and I'm going to let him tell you more about it, but he's been in business a little over 3 years. They do catering all over the valley. Everything is homemade, made from scratch, and he got his training by going to Europe pretty much every summer for quite a few years and training in different restaurants. So thank you so much for being on today, Michael.
Thank you for having me. It's been a minute since we've seen each other.
It has been. I think we first met at a happy hour that a mutual friend of ours put together 4 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, and we became fast friends, and you actually catered one of our holiday parties.
Yep.
That was so good. In fact, people still talk about it because what did we do? We did the pizzas that were fresh.
Yep.
And the one that I remember the most, other than the prosciutto and arugula, was the American pizza.
Americano.
Americano.
Hot dog and French fries.
And it sounds awful, but it was delicious. It was kind of crazy.
You know, you're not the first person that you did the dog head tilt when I told you we're going to do American pizza.
Yeah.
With hot dogs and French fries. And it sounds gross in theory, but when you break it down, when you eat a hot dog, it's going to be on a bun primarily. Well, most of the time it is. So the pizza dough actually acts as the bun, and then a lot of people put ketchup on their hot dog, so the tomato sauce is essentially the ketchup.
Right.
So the additional item you're looking at is cheese. I don't think cheese makes any item worse. I think it always makes items better.
Agreed.
So that's why that pizza works.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, let's talk a little bit about your background and how you got your training. First of all, what got you into cooking?
I've always been since the beginning of college, I was interested in diet, getting healthier. And then I was aligned with a chef here. I worked for him for several years at his deli. Genius guy. I just worked the counter, but they made a lot of stuff from scratch. So I got a good approach there, how to approach food. So making bread, cookies, or making sauces, I all saw from scratch. So that's everything they did. They wouldn't buy canned tomato sauce that's like Prego or whatever, or their bread wasn't brought in from somewhere else and then warmed up. They actually made it. So I took what I saw there, and I would go home at night and try to recreate those items. And after some time, you start saying, okay, I can do this. I'm not bad at this. And then seeing that my dad's originally from Europe, so one summer, I believe it was 2012 was the first summer I went over there to work. I had contacted a couple of my cousins that still live in my dad's town and said, hey, you think you can find me a job for like 2 or 3 months? And he said, no, I think I can. Let me see what I can do, was what his response was. So he got back to me, So I started in Sicily, and I went 2 summers in a row there. I worked at a resort that did all weddings. And then the second summer I did a pizza place and then another restaurant, pizzeria, but I was on the restaurant side of it. And then from there I went to France twice, and then I went to Florence, Italy once too. And the last time I was in 2015, and that's when I came back is when I started the company.
So tell me about your Europe experience then. I mean, what were the things you were learning that you felt like over there you had experience that you weren't getting here?
Well, I get a lot of people fall into that, go to cooking school. I don't knock cooking school. I'm not a school person. But several chefs along the way all shared the same thing. Like, you're going to go to cooking school and spend 30, 40 grand, and then you're going to get out of school and you're going to be peeling potatoes for $10 an hour. You're never going to get out of your debt or do your own restaurant. It's very hard to move up in that level. Go from washing dishes, peeling potatoes, to sous chef, to chef. That would take years. So I thought maybe I can expedite this since I was older in age already, and just learn from the best. As a person who already had a successful restaurant, they knew a lot about food. Why don't I just go learn from them and minimize my losses? So my potential losses would be better said. So that's what I did. I aligned with these chefs, and they all had crazy approaches or different approaches from one another, but they all preached fresh food. You had to work with high quality food. There's no way to get a great plate if you don't use fresh food. So don't compromise the integrity of the plate.
Right.
So yeah, it was like I said, you see a lot of different approaches. throughout different chefs, but the bottom line was get a great meal by using great food.
Right.
Fresh
Use
food.
great ingredients, you
Yeah.
get a great product
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yes, yes, yes. So it was, and living in a European culture is a little more slowed down. They take a little more, well, a slower approach with food. There's a little more appreciation with it. And a lunch break there is probably an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, opposed to here it's
Mhm.
quick. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, and yeah, it gives you an overall, not to appreciate just the quality of food, but the approach to it. All right, let's slow everything down, enjoy the meal, relax. This is not supposed to be dine and dash type thing.
Right.
So.
You see that in America. It's very much the culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's structure. Everyone 9 to 5, but everyone's working those 8 hours, and they'll give you a half an hour break, but typically takes you 10 minutes to drive to your restaurant.
Right.
10 minutes to get the order, so then you have to drive back 10 minutes, so you're eating on the way back.
Mhm.
So I feel blessed to be in my position where I do get to take my time with food, and allows to keep me healthy. So
Awesome. So you fast forward, so you got all this training. You kind of you took an advantageous shortcut that gave you a lot of training that most people get over years of school. Then they go and, like you said, they're peeling potatoes, they're with tomatoes, making sauce. But now you launch your career. So Lil Leto Catering, how did that come about?
I know I wanted to be I wanted to be designing menus and around food, but I didn't want to take that plunge into restaurants. I've been around restaurants since I was 6 years old. I was 8 when my dad got his first restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in and out of them. I know the grind of that. It takes a lot of time and energy. I'm not saying catering does it, but catering allows me to still have summers off so I can shut down if I do want to go back and
Right.
learn or just enjoy life. I'm able to do that because if you open up a storefront for a restaurant, you can get away closing for 2 weeks, maybe a month, but you're going to lose some of those loyal clienteles because they're just going to go somewhere else. They're going to go try a new place.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Phoenix landscape, just look around. You see it. There's a new restaurant literally every week, I feel like. So it's a very competitive field that there's always an interesting statistic that my dad would always tell me when I was thinking about designing a restaurant. He said, 9 out of 10 new franchises fail. So you got to be that 10%, that 1 out of 10 that makes it. So that's a scary approach. Yeah, I have confidence in my food, but opening the door and its location and timing, it really boils down to. So you just got to take a leap of faith, and I haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
It might be something I do in the future, but I enjoy being more intimate with the party, designing new menus so it's not the same thing over and over again, having that luxury. And I get to have fun with the food. I get to explain what I'm cooking and what I put into the food, opposed to if I'm at a restaurant, I'm either working the register, cooking in the back, doing checking in food, doing invoices. It's just, there's a lot to a restaurant that people think you can open a restaurant and you're just successful right away. That's not
the case.
There's a lot of work, and you get very little pay. If you can manage to get 4 or 5 restaurants, and they're all doing well, then you make a nice salary. But that's 4 or 5 more risk you have to take.
Right.
So.
Well, I know your catering business has done well, and you continue to get ongoing customers. We're going to be one of those, obviously, this Christmas. But
yeah, man. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm busy. Probably 9-10 months out of the year, exactly how I want to be busy. It's equated to that. I mean, I only equate that to maybe God and asking for that. But yeah, it's really crazy where it goes. I have other friends that are in the business, and I'm at a point where I share stuff I can't do. I'll give to them. And one of them in particular, this was just a couple weeks ago, I was sending him stuff. He's like, "How are you getting all these inquiries? This is crazy." He's like, "I've been doing this for X amount of years too." It's like, I'm in a really lucky spot. Like I said, I feel blessed to have all this opportunity in business. So it's going well.
Well, all things aside, though, let's talk about what separates Lil Leto from other catering companies, because I know there's a lot. There's a lot of quality that goes into it.
Yeah, it's the time. Again, everything's fresh. So what might take another catering company, they might go buy meatballs at a Smart and Final or a chef store. There's one in Tempe, and then they just warm those up and put it in a sauce they buy at the chef store. I make it from scratch. So I'll make the meatballs, go get the different types of meat, put the different spices and seasoning in it, and put it together. So an appetizer for me, for one part, so we have 3 appetizers, say, at a party for 30 or 40 people. It's going to take me 4.5, 5 hours to put that together before I even get to your house or your wherever you're hosting the event. So, and then it's going to take me a couple other hours to produce all that food. So again, there's a lot of time and passion that goes into it, but that's the result people see or they taste more specifically. Yeah, so that's what I don't want to knock any other company because I only do it my way. And I joke, people ask, can you make this? And it's something that's frozen. It's like, I don't know how to cook that food. I'll probably burn something that I didn't make myself. Like, I know how my food cooks. And the second that, I like the customization of menus. A lot of catering companies you're going to run into, hey, here's the menu. You can pick these 12 appetizers. These are your only choices. Can I make a suggestion? No. With me, it's like, here's a standard menu. Take a look at it. Just formulate ideas. If you're looking for something specific, just tell me because I'll create it for you because I like the challenge of creating a new meal or a new plate. It's a lot of fun. It keeps the job interesting instead of just the monotony of, okay, we're doing this meatball over again or this rice ball all over again, all that stuff. So, yeah, it keeps me on my toes.
Awesome. Yeah, that variety can really help.
Yeah.
I mean, just whereas with a restaurant, you have to make certain dishes all the time because that's what people are expecting. Yeah. You might have a special every day, but that's usually going to be a recycled special of something you've done in the past. So I get it. Like the creativity, it seems like something that you're very passionate about.
Well, have you seen that movie Chef with Jon Favreau?
I have, yeah.
Remember why he was just upset? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Because he was making the same meals over and over again, and the guy who owned the place promised him he would be able to get creative. Yeah. And he wasn't. So he's just like, it's not fun. You want to try push the envelope a little bit. Maybe do an item that most people don't like or think they don't like the Americano pizza. Yeah. And say, hey, try this to see what it is. And then people open up a little more, and then you get them open up once, you can get them again because they have trust in you now. It's like, hey, he made this item that I would never think would taste good. Good, so let's just relax a little bit. And food should be a relaxing experience. It shouldn't be intense. You should eat with your mouth, not with your eyes. Yeah. And a lot of times Americans fall guilty of eating with their eyes, like, hey, this doesn't look good. Well, just try it for me, and then we'll go from there. So. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to look good, but
no, I mean, it should have looked nice on the plate, yes, but like, it's more of you tell them the ingredients. Oh, I don't know, it doesn't sound good. You don't eat with your eyes, you don't eat with your ears. You eat with your mouth. So, try the food, and then go from there.
Awesome. So. Well, I know that your Yelp reviews are outstanding. So the proof is in the pudding. I would check out Lil Leto on Yelp because there's a lot of good things that people have said about you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like I said, I'm blessed to have that many reviews on my service. So
what are some of the things you do to market yourself to get new business other than obviously a good referral base?
I think having a good standing on Yelp and Google and Facebook, it does its own work. I feel blessed that I don't have to pay for advertising or marketing. And I mean, you do wonderful things, but I'm fortunate that I get a lot of traffic beyond, again, I'm giving work out to friends so they can get to where I'm at. Right. Achieve the success that I've had. So I don't do a lot. I mean, Instagram, social media, you'll post stuff to get followers, but I don't think I've ever had anybody from Instagram going like, oh, I follow you on Instagram. I'm going to hire you now because that could be someone in New York. And it's like, you're probably not going to come to Arizona, but it's good to have to make networking connections, but I don't do a lot. I did in the beginning just to get a little bit of attention, but yeah. And Yelp calls me all the time asking for, hey, do you want to sign on for this, this, and this? But they always start with, you have a really good account or standing, so I don't know what we actually could do for you, but if you want, we could do this. Yeah. So, yeah.
The only thing, like, for your business would be, like, the enhanced listing, and you might already have it, because it takes your competitors off the page. And that is one of the, I won't say anything negative about Yelp, but that's what they get a lot of bad press about, is they will put your competitors on, like, oh, yeah, you want those off? Pay us, whatever, $75 or $100 a month, and we'll put a button that you can have a call to action on your profile, too. It's like, all right, thanks, Yelp.
Yep, I've heard of that before, and it's stuff that goes back and forth. A conversation I have with myself about, all right, should I do this or shouldn't I do that? But again, in comparison, if the person's seeking a party, like most people, when you go to Yelp, you're looking at reviews, and overall reviews, and what people are saying. So my Yelp, you have close to 100 reviews. Okay? 75 are show them, and then they do the 20 aren't recommended, whatever that means.
I can tell you here in a minute.
Yeah. All right, I'll wait. I would like to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in comparison to other parties, and I do a search every once in a while to see what my competition is, and there's not a lot of people that are close as far as reviews, because it's catering. We don't see as much traffic as a restaurant. You might see 100, 200 people a day.
Right.
You only need 1% of that every day. You're going to get a lot of reviews by the end of the year. But if I'm only doing 1 or 2 parties, and it's 100 people total, like it's very hard to get a review on Yelp. It's just very difficult, especially in this setting. If people are my affairs, they're drinking a lot, they might not even remember me the next morning. They'll remember the food was good, but they don't. It's like, what was the name of that catering company? Like, you leave business cards around, but they probably end up in the trash. I mean, I don't take offense to that, because that's where we are with business cards. But yeah, no, I think, again, I think the product stands for itself, and it's shined through Yelp reviews, because people can really highlight certain items that they like. So, I mean, you remembered something from 3 years ago.
Absolutely.
So,
and we
something well.
Yeah, and we gave you a glowing review. I mean, and because you asked for it too. Like, you're like, hey, would you mind? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Would I have anyway? Maybe, but you showed intent and you asked for it. And I think more businesses should do it.
I'm with you on that, because again, it's so hard. Because I'm glad you brought that up, because I do ask. I mean, supplement after the party, because I have a lot of people that come from out of town. So, hey, I'll do a follow-up meeting. I'm going to send you cookies next week just as a thank you. Hey, if you also have time, would you mind writing a review? And the amount of reviews I get from that is not very, very high still. Don't take offense. People get back into their jobs and their groove of things. So maybe I get 25% of actual asking. So it's a small number. So it takes a long time to get reviews. So if I do 10 parties a month, I might get 2 reviews if I'm lucky. So yeah.
In the long run, though, it's really worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, again, I have quite a few reviews, and in a short amount of time. I mean, 3 years is not a long time for a company to be around. As we were talking with the gentleman earlier, he's in 2 years, and he can finally feel traction of it.
Right.
I felt that probably about 2.5 years. Like, okay, I don't have to retire yet and go find another job.
Right.
I can make this work. So I'm seeing the results now. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you. So here's how, because we're a Yelp partner, right?
Yep.
So we, as an agency, we work with Yelp, and they explained it to us like this: the not recommended, those are accounts that are all based on their algorithm that don't have enough reviews to say, hey, this is someone we recommend to review.
Right.
So one of the reasons they recommend advertising on Yelp is because you're advertising to people that look at Yelp as a resource for them.
Okay.
So then when you're getting review from those people, chances are they've reviewed other people.
Right. That's true.
So, but when you're asking for it, like me, I might have had a couple others, so I think mine probably went up. But a lot of people are creating a brand new account to only review there. So those are the not recommended that eventually can filter up if they have more account activity.
Okay.
Yep. So, it's funny because my business partner, Eric, I remember the first time they came in, they were doing a training, and he owned Pure Fitness, a large health club chain out here. Yeah, sure. And, he was just giving the guy the business. And he's telling us, okay, well, let me explain it. And then he explains it. Eric looks at him and says, that's the best explanation I've ever heard. I kind of like you. I might use you with my other companies now.
Your explanation was very good. It does. Maybe I have to send another email out to say hello. Yeah. But, I get why they do it. I completely get why they do it now. But at the same time, for companies that are just starting out, it's like, well, if the person doesn't use Yelp,
right?
How they're supposed to
exactly
up, right?
It's still irritating, even with the explanation, right?
Yeah.
So now with the catering company, what is the goal? Or do you want to grow to multiple events at a time, or do you already have that going on with people that work for you?
So I don't typically take on. I won't. So this past year, I did 5 events in 4 days, and that by the 5th day, I felt like a zombie. Because again, everything's from scratch. So like you're getting up, if the event's at night, you're still getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're working for 4 hours prepping, taking a short break to eat, and then you're going back to prepping. And it's just constantly moving. And you know, having your own business, you can't forget anything. Catering, I can't forget this pot. I can't forget this pan. I can't forget this tong because then I can't cook that food. So it's like, what's the checklist that you're going over in your head? You're going over the food a bunch of times. Okay, what else do I need? So I'm at a good spot, and that's why I said I'm giving some of it away now just to help others get where, because there's a great quote I heard years ago is, as far as getting way too much business, hogs go to slaughter, pigs eat. So if you get too greedy, you work too much, it's going to be end of you, whether you get yourself in a situation financially that doesn't work or your health gets compromised. So I want to always keep that balance because the way I approach, if you ask for me to cater your party, is the way I approach my food. From scratch, it's fresh because I like that type of food. You can really taste that, and it makes you feel good after you eat it.
Right.
So that I'm not just big into what it tastes now. It's just after you're done with the food, are you going to feel okay? I ate a lot of food, but I don't feel like I ate a cement brick.
Right.
I can't move. So growing, yes, I take on more parties, but I don't want to do more than 1 party a day. I've done 2 parties a day, and again, like a brunch in the morning and then something at night. It's just, I don't want to work 18 hours in a day.
Sure.
18 hours, like. I love my work, but again, you got to keep that balance, that work balance of, all right, we're going to allocate this much time. I do want to start another business that's based on food, nutrition, and health, but not kind of an offshoot of catering because I'm already cooking, but I like to impact people so they feel great all the time. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, you know, you're a business owner, you're a chef. Are there things that you'd recommend, podcasts, books that have helped you that you listen to?
So if you're really getting into, if you want to learn how to cook, and I mean, I use this to build a lot of recipes for my own business, get a flavor Bible. And essentially it's just a book with spices, and it'll tell you cinnamon, and then it'll have a list of 50 items. And then through that 50 items, if the word is in italics, that means there's a heavier significance than the standard. If it's in one of the first letters capitalized, right, it means it goes good with it. And if it's capitalized in bold, it goes really well. So like if you're building chicken, that's a topic. All right, we'll have spices like coriander, cumin, cinnamon, cardamom are spices that go really well with that. So you can make a meal off of that. So you do rotisserie chicken, you season it with all that stuff, and then try it. And that's how I continue to learn and push the envelope. All right, I'll admit there's spices that dog head tilt we talk about. Like when I heard first cinnamon goes well with chicken and cardamom, I'm like, I've had cinnamon before and cardamom in sweet items, but I wouldn't ever put it on chicken. But surprisingly, it goes well along as it has something like a heavy spice like cumin and a fresh spice like coriander. It goes well together. But yeah, get a book like that and just trust the book. They wrote it for a reason. Yeah. Other than that, if you're looking for nutrition, get a book on the 12 healthiest foods. But yeah, I read personal growth books and other avenues, but not a lot of food books.
Any personal growth books that you would recommend?
Something that I implemented into my diet, a great book. I believe the author wrote Grain Brain too, but the book I read was Brain Maker. And it's about, so we've heard, I'm sure you've seen commercial about probiotics and you're getting your gut healthy, and 70% of your immune system is in your gut. And this book talks about minimizing grains or breads and complex carbs and sugar because they always cause constant inflammation. And also preaches fermented food. So sauerkraut, kimchi, what's the tea that everyone's drinking now? I drink it.
Kombucha. Oh, kombucha.
Thank you. Kefir, yogurt, all these are probiotic items. So they start building good bacteria. So you have good bacteria, bad bacteria. If you've taken antibiotics in the past, which we all have growing up, or our food, our meat gets antibiotics, so we're consuming that. Antibiotics are great for killing bacteria, but they kill the bad, but they also kill the good. Right. So it leaves your, I don't want to say state in neutral, but you could be compromised quicker because you don't have as much good bacteria as you used to. So building a healthy gut is a great way to go. There's some woman I follow on Instagram, great account. Her name's Dr. Yaz, I think ND. If you follow me on Instagram, you can find her. Just look for Dr. Yaz. Her name is Yasmin, excuse me. But yeah, building your gut health back up. And I have seen a dramatic effect in the last 6 months since I've implemented certain items. Like I said, kimchi, sauerkraut's one of them.
Yeah, love sauerkraut.
Yeah, and it's not heavy doses of it. Just slowly start to build your digestive system back. Because in comparison to other cultures, you have people that are third world cultures that, countries, that are in some intense bacteria situations, but they're not getting sick. But if you or I go there, we would. Like if we go to Mexico and drink the water, we're going to get sick. And that has to do with your internals. We're so sterile here at times. Everything's clean. Put the antibacterial cream on our hands and kill all the bacteria. But you're killing the good bacteria too.
Right. So, yeah, I'll check that out. It sounds
it's a great book.
Very
Even if you get it on audio, you'll be surprised, and then it starts to make sense. Again, I said the constant inflammation is how people get sick, serious illnesses, whether it's Alzheimer's, cancer, dementia, anything really, is a constant inflammation. So your body doesn't have time to focus on that because maybe the food you're taking in is taking too much energy away from that. Maybe the job you're doing is taking too much mental stress. Those are two items that use the most stress or energy in our bodies. Is mental stress and digestion consume the most energy. So if your body has to focus on digesting something all the time, it can't focus on that common cold. It turns into pneumonia. So things like that.
Awesome. Well, as we wrap up, do you have any takeaways for the audience? Because I always ask at the end for 3 takeaways, and a lot of our audience are, people that are in business or people that are very interested in types of marketing, and everybody eats, so that's obviously of interest too.
I mean, your product's awesome. So I'd say if anyone's listening, reach out because it is a great store. Everything's online now, and these short videos work really, really well. People when they're sitting in a bus or sitting at the mall, they're on social media. And you can see a video and watch it quick and go, you know what? I can get several thousand people to view my company, and that's a small number. You can get 10, 100,000 depending on who's following you, and then you just keep the olive branch going. Okay, this one person I know saw this, well, it's going to show up in their feed because they clicked and liked it, commented on it, so someone they know is going to see it. So yeah, it's very, very, very smart. As the old ages where you do like yellow pages, and I don't think anyone opens yellow pages anymore. If they're even around, it's a good way to impact people right away to a large scale, to a platform that everyone's on, essentially. So yeah, I think the takeaway is it's a good experience. I'm happy you called me this morning.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. I mean, like I told you, I already had a list, and you were on that list, and today, I mean, we had a last second opportunity. I'm like driving by where I know you live because our first party was at your house, which very gracious of you. So this really worked out. I'm glad you came on.
I'm glad I could help. You're a great guy. You got a great family, and I look forward to seeing you in December.
Oh yeah,
food.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
Any takeaway or anything that you want to ask of the audience?
Open your mind to food. That's just go out to somewhere and try something you'll never try. At least you'll know you won't like something. That's the worst case scenario. You take time with your food.
That's a big one. Yeah, absolutely. Personal story for me. I didn't eat a lot of ethnic foods growing up.
Yeah,
so
understandably so.
When I was, I would say probably 21, 22, I decided to dabble in. So I started eating Thai food, and then I've had Ethiopian food, and I've had Korean food. Indian food is one of my favorite. Mediterranean food. Like those aren't things I did growing up. And now I'm trying to think of things that I ate growing up that I still eat today. I mean, hamburgers, pizza, or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, when you expand it, it's amazing. Food becomes an exploratory experience.
Well, your next favorite dish could be just around the corner, your next plate.
Yeah.
You just don't know because what you're used to. Hey, I want to eat curry or cumin or whatever. Like that doesn't sound good, but just try it.
Right.
Like, worst case scenario, you're not going to like it, and it's okay. You move on to the next meal. You'll probably eat another meal, so it's okay.
True.
Yeah.
And you already thought you didn't like it anyway. So the worst case scenario, you're just
Right.
right.
Relax. Yeah. Open your mind to different potential opportunities. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thanks again for being on. Guys, this is awesome. I hope you got a ton out of it. I know I did. And we will see you back here in a couple weeks.